This will obviously be bad news for you and your group.
Yes, most of the people that I represent live on the South Bank and they are local residents, and it's absolutely on their doorstep, and not one of them was consulted about it before the whole plan was landed to us in the summer as a fait accompli.
Because, of course, it was passed by Lambeth and by Westminster, so this really was the final hurdle. Did you hold out any hope that it would be turned down at this stage?
Well, it's not exactly the final hurdle, actually. We kind of expected Lambeth to pass it, we knew Westminster would pass it, and Boris has been backing this since, well, he wanted a garden bridge, a living bridge, since 2009, so it doesn't really come as any surprise that he passed it. But there are 46 conditions that need to be met from Lambeth Council side. Westminster's condition that TfL or somebody has to guarantee the maintenance costs of £3.5 million in perpetuity is a huge hurdle for Boris or whoever to take. Who's going to come up with that kind of money year after year to look after the bridge? That's a huge undertaking.
Are the kind of premise of your concerns financially based then?
It's financial, it's views, and it's overcrowding. Those are things that are really very difficult things for anyone to overcome. The overcrowding you just can't do anything about. That's going to be unsustainable. The South Bank can't take any more people as it is. If you walk down there at the weekend, it's so congested and you can't get past safely, you can't push a buggy, you can't get a wheelchair through there. Cyclists can't cycle along there anyway, let alone get onto the bridge. And the views are definitely blocked.
But that's tourism, isn't it? That's the kind of lifeblood of this capital. Would you not say that having another tourist attraction is good news for the city?
This part of London is completely overcrowded and congested with tourist attractions already. There are other better parts of London that need something like this. Like, you could inject this kind of life, vibrancy, economy into another part of London. It definitely cannot be on the South Bank.
And what about the criticisms of views? There are obviously many people who are opposed to it, including St Paul's Cathedral, who've been quite outspoken about the fact that they're worried about it. Opposition would say these provide different views, new views. They aren't obstructing, it's just changing, and that's the way that a city develops.
But they are obstructing. There are strategic points along the river, along the bridge, that you must be able to stand upon and to be able to see St Paul's. You won't be able to do that if this garden bridge is built, notwithstanding they didn't put any photo montages of what the views would be like on the bridge itself. We don't know what those views are going to be like. If you stand in the middle of that bridge and look one way, you'll see Big Ben. If you look the other way, you won't be able to see St Paul's because there'll be trees in the way or hundreds of people. At the moment on Waterloo Bridge, you can stand and do a full 360 and see a whole vista of London. You will not be able to do that at any point on the garden bridge.
Now, as you can imagine, lots of people have been outspoken about this. There are lots of people taking part in this sort of conversation on Twitter. People have contacted us, and I'll just read you some of the things they've been saying. We've had Eaton Mess, who said, "How unusual for Boris to sign off an overly expensive vanity project." Tasha says, "Cost-wise, I don't think this would happen, but the bridge will add practical and visual value to London." Angela, "Garden Bridge will be a huge tourist attraction. That means it will pay its way." And Anne says, "So local schools are being sold off for academies and you want to have a garden bridge. Seriously, Boris, what are they putting in your tea?" And the last one, Marcelo, says, "Fantastic, fabulous." It's going to divide the city, isn't it?
It is. I don't see how it's going to make money for the nation because they're not going to charge for it. Or are they? And if they are going to charge for it, then that completely dispels the myth of it being a public bridge. It's a private space run by a private company who are posing as a charity.